This is my review, the BMR springs. This is a performance springs. Basically, it's supposed to lower the car half an inch since it already sits a quarter inch lower than a traditional Mustang. They're not a bad spring. They don't ride bad or anything like that. I do have an issue. And then I tried to work with BMR to correct the issue. So all the way around the car, it basically has like a 2-finger gap, which it still sits pretty high, and this is what the spring's on, and I used to be a mechanic years ago. Every corner, it's 2 fingers, except for this one. And you can hear it. It's wedged in there. But if you go to the other side and look, there's the gap. I called BMR, and I was like, hey, can you guys send me a different set of front springs because they're uneven? And this is not the first time I heard about it. And they're like, hey, swap them around, blah, 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 this and that. It's too hard of a job just to keep swapping the springs and getting the car aligned. So I went with a different brand. They said that they were going to have the engineer test some springs and then let me know when to pick them up. It's been 2.5 weeks. I've called them, sent them several emails, and they haven't responded. So the guy that was helpful, his name's Glenn, pretty helpful, but I've lost confidence in the springs. And I used to be a mechanic, and I've lowered probably 20 cars of my own cars. And so there's nothing that's bonding. The front suspension's pretty straightforward. So I just want to tell people, if you guys get these springs, there will be variables in there. So I did talk to a couple of race shops. They said they've seen some issues with the springs and them being uneven. The rear's fine. They're preloaded. It's exactly the same on the rear. And all the way around, except for that one spring in the front. And like I said, you know, they're like, hey, we'll get you a new set or whatever. But they haven't called back. So I went in a different direction since I lost confidence. This is just like an FYI for people that are looking at the springs, and especially Performance Pack 2 cars. I mean, they sit like 4x4s. I'm a big person about performance, but there's got to be some sort of balance there too. So anyway, all right, thanks for joining.